Minister, can I just ask you very briefly about the latest live register figures just came out? They show a slight fall, but unemployment's still very high. Are you concerned that with all your plans and all your attempts to tackle unemployment, that rate remains stubbornly high?
I suppose the news of the moment is that the government has won the case in the Supreme Court, and all the literature which is being distributed in the referendum campaign is deemed to be in order and in accordance with the Constitution. On the live register, if you look at it over the 19-month period that we're in government, it's fluctuating within a band of about 10,000. So it has stabilised, and economic growth and job creation are quite frequently time-lagged. This was the experience in the 90s. With more job activation from people on the live register, and with the work of the IDA, and some signs now that the domestic economy is beginning to bottom out, well, I'd be hopeful for the future. But we never said it was a quick fix. It takes time, and there are a lot of people out of work who are very anxious to get back to work, and we realise that.
Are jobs being created though, Minister, or are people emigrating from the country?
No, jobs are being created, and if you look at the live register figures out today, there's a huge churn every month on the live register figures. Frequently 35,000 people come off the live register and go back to work in a month. But it's a question of they being replaced by others who are losing out. There are some people on the live register as well, of course, who are part-time workers, and that's taken into account as well. But I'm not making light of it. Unemployment is a very serious issue in the country. The bulk of it is due to the burst in the property bubble, and that 150,000 people who are working in building construction and in development who went out of work over a 2-year period. And not all of those will get back into building. So there's a real job to be done, but it has stabilised within the parameters that I've said, and the government is working very hard to create the new jobs in a modern economy to get people back to work.
Will the political class be showing an example and taking the lead in the cuts in the budget on December 5th?
Well, cuts like tax increases are a matter for the budget, so you'll have to wait till budget day to see will there be action on other areas, you know.
Minister, just go on the wider point in relation to excessive bank salaries. Is the government being tough enough? Because there certainly seems to be an impression that the banks are still dancing a merry dance around yourself and your colleagues.
No, all the bank salaries of new appointments since I became minister have been within the agreed ceilings. There are some historic salaries that are above the ceiling, but they were a matter of contract, and I wasn't legally empowered to reduce them. But they're very few at this stage.
Mr. Noonan, is there a growing frustration amongst the Eurozone leaders that Spain's sitting on the fence and that it might not actually need help after all? I was just really wondering whether there was any,
No, I've had no indication of that.
Do you expect any progress? Just briefly, at today's meeting in Berlin, will there be any progress on Ireland's banking debt, or will that even be discussed at this meeting today?
No, I think the Taoiseach put a video up on a website last night to say that this was about Ireland's presidency, that he dealt on the previous weekend on the telephone with the issue of the debt. So it's preparations for the presidency, the Taoiseach outlining what Ireland's priorities are and having an exchange of views with the Chancellor. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Minister.